Slavery. Slavery.
Slavery.
Hello, Shadow Park. I am Draven Smith.
And I am McCleary, and today we will be talking about the issue of human trafficking.
In the United States alone, Congress estimates that 14,500 to 50,000 people are trafficked into the country every year.
The victims are drawn in by the promise of a better opportunity for themselves and their families, but once they arrive, they find that it's not what they thought it was, as they are paid less than promised or not even at all.
Prostitution is a huge problem in the Middle East, especially in Dubai, where women are tricked into thinking that they will work as maids or as cleaners when instead they are forced into the sex trade. Prostitution gives off huge profits for organizations that run them, especially in Dubai, which is the most toured city in the world.
In the rest of the world, human trafficking is still a big problem. In India, over half of the 14 million trafficking victims are children who are trafficked well into adulthood. The traffickers are paid anywhere from $50 to $250 per victim. The reason India has so many trafficking victims is because there are very few laws to prevent trafficking, and even the few laws that are there, everyone just accepts the trafficking and doesn't really report it.
People from Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, and Africa are often tricked into working for construction companies in the United Arab Emirates. They are tricked into thinking that they will be getting a fair wage when in actuality they get paid little to nothing, with no benefits. For example, in the Middle East, mostly Dubai, people from Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, Africa, and other surrounding areas go to Dubai to work and make a living. However, they do not get paid very much because mostly they're working on construction sites. Oftentimes, organizations involved with illegal activities are part of the local government. This is because governments can profit from not paying workers for their labor.
A little more on human trafficking is that victims have to pay a recruitment fee in order for them to be trafficked in. The average recruitment fee is about $6,125, but that fee can range anywhere from $1,000 to $25,000, which is more than the per capita income rate of most countries. And then when they are trafficked in, they are either done illegally through the use of unofficial documents or legally with the use of official documents. But then once they are trafficked into the country, all their documents, whether they're illegal or legal, are taken away so that they can't run to the authorities, because without documents they may be deported, and that is not where they want to be. In the U.S., to combat this issue, they have passed multiple laws, but still, under these laws, it is hard to attack corporations directly because they have to prove direct involvement, and these corporations normally use second-hand parties so that the human trafficking can't be directly linked back to them, so that they can't take the blame for the human trafficking. But the United States is trying to say that anybody who knowingly benefits from it will have to take the blame.
Hello everybody, this is Humphrey reporting to you live. I'm here to tell you that there are many global solutions to human trafficking. There are laws placed against it. Currently, right now, there's laws in 61 different countries against it. There are organizations These organizations work to combat it, as well as providing victims with healthcare, education, and jobs. In addition to organizations, there's just awareness being spread by informed parties, and this can prevent human trafficking as well as stopping corruption in developing countries.
News, we understand how the public also has an opinion, so we sent myself, Jedidiah Canfield, Dharma Cuddly, and a few other of our reporters to go find a few personal opinions on human trafficking.
Questions first.
Okay, it's just like,
What's your
get
name?
like easy, you know, feeling?
Yeah.
Okay, what's this question?
What's your name?
Spady.
What year are you?
Caesar.
Do you have any experience in the human trafficking realm? Do you know anyone? Do you have
I've never known anyone in the human trafficking realm.
never seen anyone disappear
No,
overnight or anything?
I haven't ever seen it.
The purpose of like taking people and kidnapping them and not using them for like organs or sexual services or domestic services or forced labor. The purpose of like taking people and.
Are you aware of the human slavery within Spokane?
Yes.
Do you know what happens? Like, do you know anything about it within Spokane?
No.
Human trafficking.
That Mexico's big on it. Probably China too.
Do you know about the human trafficking within Spokane itself?
Interesting. Nope.
Do you know about Washington State in general with human trafficking?
Not necessarily.
Do you know what happens to people who get trafficked and how it starts?
Well, the odds are they'll either be in slave labor or sexual situations like, sex slave.
Do you know about human trafficking?
It's like to be forced labor or working for, well, I guess human trafficking isn't really working for really low wages, but can you restart that?
Trafficking.
It's usually done through black markets, and it's the selling and purchasing of human slaves.
Are you aware of it in Spokane?
I never heard of it in Spokane, no.
What about worldwide?
Worldwide, yes, definitely.
What places do you think have it worse?
It sounds bad, but Asian and African countries.
Thank you.
Known interaction with human trafficking at all?
No.
Do you know what it is?
I do know what it is.
And could you give me your definition of it?
Human trafficking is, I'm trying not to botch this up, but it's like people get kidnapped and are sold in a sex slavery.
That's one. What do you know about sex trafficking?
It's bad.
Do you know it exists?
Yes.
Which areas do you think are big on modern day slavery?
I imagine rural, but I guess the more developed would be better if they're trying to get ransom out of the people that are.
Never seen it in the news?
Yeah, sometimes.
You've seen it?
Modern slavery within Spokane itself?
Yeah, it's pretty gross, man. It's that like shed over in Southville, and it was used for like human trafficking, and it got shut down. But that was pretty serious.
What do you
I feel like it can be like a lot, you know? Maybe a few million range, but
Really? $32 million compared to Facebook, which earned about $5 million last year.
that's just for straight sex trafficking?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
One industry.
That's one. There's one?
There's one hand, cocoa beans.
Okay.
Um,
So basically, human slavery.
Human slavery, yeah, quite to the point. It's considered modern day slavery. That's what we call
Alrighty.
it. individual could do?
For an individual,
Yeah.
I don't know, just maybe know, just kind of like get some basic like knowledge of what's right and what's wrong, you know, just kind of like, just pushing that, it's just like, and research so you know back what you're doing, you know, don't just jump into things, you know, do a little bit of groundwork and make sure it's the right path for you to take.
Yeah. And so, what's your thoughts on that?
That it should be stopped. Like, come on. Like.
Yeah.
How do you think we should stop human trafficking?
I don't know, that's a good question. I want to say like making stricter laws, but like they're obviously criminals and don't care about the laws, but so maybe like, I don't know, like putting more people out patrolling the world for slaves, I guess. I don't
Okay. Human trafficking?
I feel like it would make sense because I feel like if more people knew, then like it would help bring awareness to like the cause and that more people could be aware like that's happening. But
Human trafficking?
I feel like
in the rest of the world, human trafficking is still a big problem. India has the largest trafficking problem out of any country in the world. 14 million people are trafficked every year, and over half of those trafficked peoples are children. Hello, Shingle Park. I am Draven Smith.
And I am Haley McCleary, and today we will be talking about the issue of human trafficking.
In the United States alone, Congress estimates that 14,500 to 50,000 people are trafficked into the country each year.
The victims are drawn in by the promise of a better opportunity for themselves and their family, but once they arrive, they find out that it's not what they thought.
Hello, Shingle Park. This is I am